All right, so you may have done some of these in class, or this is completely empty or blank for you. Let's go ahead and start with our commutative property. So in class, we were talking about the commutative property has a key term in here, and that would be commute. We have several ways of commuting to school. Let's say that we're running late from one class to the other, so we can commute by running to class. Oh dear. Or we also talked about commute, like how we get to school every day. We might take a car. Oh dear. Okay, I promise that's a car of some sort. Why not? Okay, yeah, that's a car, and it's going. Okay, so whenever you hear commutative, I want you to think of movement. So let's do an example of commutative property. I'm first going to show you commutative property using variables, and then we're going to have actual numbers. So I know we did some different numbers in class because you guys kind of shouted out different numbers that you wanted. Let's go ahead and begin with A plus B. Now, using the commutative property on, addition, we would say that it is equivalent to B plus A. Well, that's fairly simple. So let's go ahead and try an example, a numeric example. Let's say my red A is 5, and I'm going to add 20, which that would give me 25. So using the commutative property, we would say that 5 plus 2 is the same, 20 is the same as 20 plus 5. Do both sides give me 25? Yes. All right, let's go ahead and continue with the commutative property on multiplication. So we're going to multiply. Let's go ahead and use, I know that one's shouldn't be running out, and yet it is. Let's use pink and blue. So this time I'm going to have a blue A plus, my apologies. So we were talking about how we're big boys and girls, and we represent multiplication using a dot. All right. And we're going to multiply it times B, because this is the commutative property on multiplication. Okay. Now, let's apply the same commutative property on A times B. That would be the same as saying, just the same way that we did above, B times A. All right. So we're going to use the number blue 3 times 5. Now, I had asked you guys in class today, what's another way we could have represented multiplication? And you guys told me that instead of saying 5 and then showing times as a dot, I could have even used parentheses. Parentheses, we also know and understand it to be multiplication. So 3 times 5 is the same as 5 times 3. We can move these things around and it means the exact same thing. Okay, now all of these operations or operational fields are necessary for solving, and that's what we're trying to get to. Let's move on to associative property. Now, associative property, we took out the key term associate. And we actually said something like associate. And you guys told me that reminds you of coworkers. So you're happy to see your coworkers, so you associate with them and you tell them things like, hey, hola. And they're like, what's up? I don't think what's up is going to fit there, so just hi. Okay, so associative property. Okay, let's go ahead and do associative property on addition. So whenever we're talking about that, we were associating with certain people. I'm going to go ahead and use maybe. There we go. Let's do purple A, a yellow B, and a pink C. All right. Now, this first example, I'm going to say that this group of A plus B, I'm going to add C to it, is just the exact same thing as A, B, C again. But this time I'm going to say A plus this group of B plus C. So you notice that even though I grouped up A and B and I summed them up and I added C at the end, it's just the same as if I summed up B and C and I added A in the front. You're going to get the exact same answer. So let me prove that to you. I could use something like 4, 2, and 8. I'm going to say 4 plus 2, that's 6. And then I'm going to add 8 to it. So that should give me 14, right? Okay. So that is the exact same thing as saying 4. We're going to follow the same rule here. Plus this group of 2 plus 8. Which to me, in my mind, to be able to sum this up quicker, I'd probably do this because that gives me 10 plus 4 is 14. All right, let's apply the same rule on multiplication. So on multiplication, I would say something like, I have here A, B, and C. Now I'm going to say here, I'm going to take this group of A times B, and I'm going to, oh, well, technically, I don't even have to have that dot there. I'll just leave it. And I'm going to say that's equivalent to, just like I said, I don't really need that dot in the front because it's assumed with these parentheses that that's multiplication. A times the group of B, and I don't need the dot again, so I'm just going to put BC. It's assumed that they're being multiplied. So let's use something here such as, I use a blue 2, okay, and a red 10, and a green 6. There we go. So I would say that the product of 2 times 10, which is 20 times 6. Okay. here we go, is going to be equivalent to